All right, today's lesson on love is on the Greek form of love known as ludus, Ludus. Sometimes it really is all about fun and games. And you're thinking, what? Well, okay. So, like I said in my previous video, Americans, English speakers, we only have one word for love. I love my handbag. I love my dog. I love pizza. I love you. But as I described when I talked about philia, that brotherly love that is based on loyalty, sacrifice, and commitment, the other kind of love, one of the other kind of love that the Greeks talked about was called ludus. So I tell you, these guys had everything covered, which is great because at least then if I say to you, I love you, I philia you, I storge you, and I ludus you, you've got all kinds of different understandings of what that means. Your expectations aren't different. So let's talk about ludus. So this is a game playing kind of love. It is based, it's got really low levels of commitment, and it sees relationships as fun, as playful, as casual. Now, hold on right there. If you think, oh, well, then that's not true love. Love is committed. Well, actually, love is not always committed, at least not when we're talking about ludus. In this case, it really is just about fun and games. Now, look, I might have thought the same thing as you thought back before I started becoming this relationship expert and I started studying these things, because I had to remember the whole point of the Greeks differentiating these was so that we could understand them better. So while we may be desirous of one love style, we may at some point be in the midst of another love style with the partner with whom we are currently loving. So let's give the Greeks some credit here because I think they were onto something. So, all right, look, I'm 58 years old right now, and I want more than ludus from my spouse. But that wasn't always the case. When I met him in 1983, it was all about fun and games in the beginning. We went to the beach, we played, we went to the movies. Most young relationships start out that way. And when I was 16 and I had met my first boyfriend, Scott, we had so much fun together. Oh my gosh, I remember riding the buses to sports activities because Scott was in sports too. We'd ride them together, we'd laugh, we'd goof off, we'd just have so much fun. We'd go out at night. There's this college university, University of Wisconsin, Milwaukee. You can't get me on this, guys, if you're watching, because I did this, 40 years ago. But they had a really tall building. I can't remember, maybe 20, 30 stories. And there was a broken lock on the building. And Scott used to take me there and say, let's go climb. And we go to the top of the building, no railings. I swear it was your death right there. And he used to sit there and do cartwheels on top of this building, a little bit too close to the edge than I would. I was like sitting in the middle, like, I'm good, just sitting here under the stars watching. But it was so much fun just doing crazy cartwheels together. My senior year, I got voted most school spirit. I would have no problem with putting, 83 on my cheeks and putting crazy colors in my hair. And look, Scott was crazy too. So I don't want you to think that this was low level love, boyfriend, girlfriend relationship. I dreamed of marrying him. I thought, oh my gosh, I'm in love. He's the one for me. I thought of him 24/7. I loved him very deeply and he loved me. But if we were to change it into the English language, we would say I ludused him very much and he ludused me. Now, when he broke up with me a year and a half later, I was devastated. I mean, absolutely devastated. I'd sunk into a deep depression. It lasted probably another 6 months after the breakup. And I finally came back to my clear head and space again. I realized that, I really did have great, great feelings for Scott. So I'm saying this to let you know that ludus, though it may sound like this playful little puppy love thing, it is not. So the biggest difference between this type of love and the deep committed type that you may be envisioning is just that commitment. Ludus doesn't have commitment. For some, they really only want the fun and happy side of love, and they don't want too much to do with the commitment, at least not at this time. It's often happened that one is hoping for the relationship to go to the next step and the other simply just doesn't have any more to give. And I'm sure that we can consider various seasons and reasons of our lives and relationships for this. Maybe the one that only seeks Ludus was once hurt by a previously committed relationship. Maybe they're widowed and they have no intentions of starting a new life with a new person that requires a lifetime commitment and a lot of sacrifice. Maybe they simply have no more to give, but they want someone to love, someone to let us, someone that's their fun and playful person. So these persons just want the best parts of the relationship, the fun and play, without the potential for hurt. Though, of course, you can get hurt even if you let us somebody. So only God knows why, but nonetheless, to let us someone has its purposes for a season. I may be incorrect, but it seems realistic to me that over time, at least one of the partners would want, dare I say, need more in the relationship than just fun and play. I mean, really, if you're hanging out with someone all the time, there is some kind of a commitment there. Like, I'm hoping you're my person that when I call and I want to do something with, you're always there. And if that person's not, then we kind of miss that kind of a commitment. So relationships are built on getting to know each other at the deepest levels, whether it's a girlfriend, your best friends, your spouse, your parents. We're always living our lives getting closer to people. So as we do this, though, we have to become more vulnerable and we have to share in not only the good times and the good situations, but also in the bad times and the tough situations too. And that's not easy for everyone, especially someone who's just looking to let us, please. I just want the love. I mean, I just want the play and the fun. Please don't make me go there again. Whatever reasons, it's too painful for someone or just impossible. They weren't wired there. So, I wish I could go back to the times and talk to Aristotle and Plato and get a fuller understanding of this word, because lettuce has always been intended to have a short season. That's what I think. It's the way I interpret it. Perhaps it's only the precursor to something better, richer, and something more fulfilling. But nonetheless, to coin a phrase that's relatively new to the English vernacular, lettuce is what it is, right? So again, let's be honest, as a grandmother, I'm not so sure I'm ready for my teenage grandson to want a richer love than lettuce at this point. I want him to find a girl with whom he can first have fun and play and laugh. And I want him to begin his future love life with a friendship that doesn't have too many strings attached, because let's face it, the breakups hurt. I do still want him to know what it's like to admire, appreciate, and respect his beloved. And I will have no problem if any of my grandsons come to me, one day and say, Grandma, I met a nice lady and I really lettuce her. My response will be something like, well, I'm happy for you, young man. Love is a beautiful thing. Love never fails. And you know what? Love never does fail. So that's your lesson on love for today. Let me know if you think you've ever lettuced anyone before. Have you ever had that fun and playful love and just kind of wanted to stop there? Or did you start there and develop it into something more? Or what? But you can't wait for the next lessons on love. I'm Dr. Christine Bacon. Thanks for watching this informational Bacon bit. And as always, I want to remind you always to live your life sunny side up.